What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and thanks again for tuning in to another video of yours truly doing something well with one of my trucks. In today's video, I'm going to be installing a CJC intercooler guard on the front end of my 2024 Ram 2500, which will basically mean that I get to take the big plastic valance that's on that thing off finally, but still have protection for the bottom of the intercooler, which actually hangs down below the front bumper. So let me show you. I'm pretty stoked because this actually turned out really nice. So this is the intercooler guard right off of CJC's website. Got this thing bare, had a friend of mine shop paint it to match. The same friend whose shop actually painted it was the one who originally ordered it, and for some reason he lost the hardware. So I reached out to the guys at CJC. They sent me an install kit for it. So thank you again to CJC Offroad. You guys kill it, and I don't have enough good to say about you guys. So huge shout out to CJC Offroad again for coming through and just being a phenomenal group of folks to work with. So that'll be going on that. So I'll walk you through basically taking the valance off, the install kit. It's pretty easy. You can do it in your garage with basic hand tools. And I'll just show you, right? Because, well, I got a little bit of time today, so might as well make it useful and make the front of the truck look better. Now, let me show you what's coming down the pipeline for said 5th gen Ram. If you've watched my videos or you follow me on Instagram or you know me in real life, right? You know that I'm a huge fan of chassis limited bumpers. I love the way that they look. I've had them on a 2nd gen that I had, my 3rd gens, my current 4th gen, and some 5th gens that I've had in the past too. So I know it makes no sense, right? Yes, I'm putting that piece right there on the front bumper to basically take it off in a few months. I don't even care because I think that's gonna look really good until this gets done. So let me just show you without further ado. Are you ready? This doesn't make any sense, I get it. But this is awesome, okay? Chassis unlimited octane bumper. So basically gonna look like that on that, right? Same block off plate. I got different lights for the wings of the bumper. I got some Baja designs coming that should be here later on this week. So I'm gonna get this thing unboxed, get it down on my powder coater. It should be done, I'm guessing, probably the next few weeks. They shipped it to me bare, so it makes it easy and saves time. So yes, I know, it doesn't make any sense. Kenny, what are you doing? Well, I've wanted to do something like this for a hot minute, right? I've wanted to take an intercooler guard on one of my 5th gens, have it painted to match and throw it on because I think it's gonna look awesome, right? And it's not bad to have choices. It's not bad to have options, right? So that's going on. In a few weeks or month or whatever, right? The chassis unlimited bumper is going on with the Baja Designs lights, which I will run one set into my factory fogs. The other set I'll wire into one of the auxiliary switches in the truck and be ready to rock and roll. So yeah, I know it doesn't make any sense, but you know what? Let's get this thing installed. I'll give you guys a good shot of the front of the truck once I get in the garage, well, as far in as it'll go. And then we'll just do kind of a before and after, and then let you guys and gals see how this actually changes the whole front of the look of the truck, because in my opinion, I think it's gonna look a little bit bigger without adding more lift to it. And then obviously give you the protection for the bottom of the intercooler too. So let me get these trucks moved around. Let me get this bad boy in here, and yeah, let's go. I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. I mean, look at this. Look at this thing, guys. Painted to match, right? I mean, how do you go wrong with that? I mean, form and function right there. So anyway, I know, as if you couldn't tell, I'm excited. So let me get to work. All right, guys, so I got the truck swapped around. I've got everything unpacked as far as the hardware kit goes for the install for the intercooler guard. Let me show you what we're dealing with here. So you've got these 2 brackets, just kind of judging by the way this one sits. I'm guessing this one's maybe passenger side. I'm not really sure, but you've got these 2 brackets that the actual guard itself mounts to. As you can tell, there are 4 little spots on there to mount that, along with the accompanying hardware, right? You got 4 of these bad boys right here, ready to rock and roll. And then you've got 2 of these nuts and bolts, and I believe these are the ones that actually secure those brackets to the backside of the snowplow mounts on the front of the frame. And that's it, super easy. So this is what I'm starting off with. This is how the front of the truck looks right now. Not too bad, right? And again, like I mentioned before, I did trim the factory air valance down here, so it doesn't look like it would if you're looking at just a regular factory setup, because it actually kind of curved down and came down to about here, whereas now obviously everything's trimmed up all the way around from side to side. So this comes off, the new intercooler guard mounts up right here. and that's it. Super easy. So to get this off, let me show you. You've got a couple, so right here, right, you got to get this little bad boy out. There's a couple little screws actually up in here that actually help hold the valance itself to the bottom of the bumper. But as you can tell, pretty easy stuff, right? Not a whole lot. I mean, you can actually kind of see some of the how it mounts up in there right there. So yeah, it's not really tough to do. These are the easiest ones to get to right here on the driver and the passenger side. Obviously reaching up in here and kind of getting the rest of the hardware, probably not going to be super fun, but it'll be worth it when I get this off and get the intercooler guard on. So I'm gonna get to work taking this thing off, and I'll let you know exactly what you need tool-wise to do that, and then give you another view of it, of how it looks, and show you why that thing is so important. Because if you look on the factory bumper right here, it kind of comes up, obviously on the driver and the passenger side, you know, kind of makes it, you know, gives it a little bit of, you know, something different. The downside, and actually, actually there's no downside to that. The positive side of this is that it actually comes up because inside here at the very bottom is a scoop for your intercooler itself. So it helps get air in here to actually help, obviously, make sure that that air that enters the motor is as cool as possible. So when you take that piece off, it's all exposed. So the nice thing with that is it covers it up. It still has plenty of air pockets in it, so you can actually still breathe and pass air through there. And it looks pretty good. So, oh, and for those wondering, so yes, I don't have a front license plate on here. Not like it's gonna matter in a couple months, but I got these from Bumper Plugs. They paint to match them. They pop in there. I've had these in there literally since probably 3 days after I bought the truck. They're super easy to install. They look good, and it just kind of cleans it up as opposed to just leaving the exposed holes in the front bumper. So for those that don't have to worry about a front bumper, these things are worth every penny. So let me get the camera set up, and then I will get to work on getting the valance off and start mounting the hardware, and yeah, rock and roll. So let me get back to it. All right, guys, so for the two little push clips, I basically just have my flathead that I actually put a little bit of a curve in, as you can tell. And then I got a trim prying tool, so I'll pop those two out. The bolts that actually secure the air dam to the bumper itself are a 10 mil. So I've got a 10 mil right here on my ratchet wrench. So I'm gonna take those two out first, and then I'm going to use this to basically take the rest of the bolts off. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a couple up here that this is not going to reach. So if you see something like it just getting pulled off, just know that it's all part of the plan. So let's get this thing off. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Oh, well, like I mentioned, I'm not reusing this. So now I'm gonna take the rest of them off, figure out how to get those brackets mounted on here, because I do know that you actually use 2 of the factory bolts on here to secure that bracket on the front side, and then obviously the 2 galvanized ones go on the back side. So let me figure out how to get the rest of these bad boys off, and then I'll get that put on. So stay tuned and know it's all part of the plan. All right, so there's actually 6 of these bad boys across the middle of it. These weren't hard to get with the ratchet, obviously, because I can get the ratchet up in there between the basically front side of the intercooler and the bumper. So there are 2 left that I'm actually gonna have to probably use a smaller wrench on just to get up in there, because yeah, that's not gonna fit. So none of this is getting reused. I may save the clips, but you never know. Never a bad idea to have a couple extra body clips, 10 mils, right? If you have a 10 mil. So let me get back to it under here. Got myself a little baby deep 10 mil socket to get those last 2 off. That's not gonna work. I'll be right back. Let's see if this does the trick. All right, so I got the last 2 nuts out. I'm gonna wipe everything down and figure out how these brackets go on exactly, because one and done. No need to mess around with it. It's pretty straightforward. I think the toughest part's gonna be actually just kind of aligning the skid plate itself. But once I get it mounted and get it snug on the brackets, then I can kind of mess around with the brackets where they mount as far as on the bumper and then on the back side of the snowplow prep. So I'm gonna clean everything up. All right, guys, intercooler guard is on, it's lined up, it's tightened down, it looks really good, and it's just the little subtle piece that I think just kind of makes the front end, just kind of pulls it all together. So I'll let you guys be the judge. Here you go. There she is. This little piece down here in the front bumper, that's what I'm talking about. It is on, it is lined up, it looks really good, and I think painting it to match the truck actually was the ticket, because I think if I would have gone with the black setup on it, it probably would have just kind of faded into the front end. Which is actually kind of what happened on my 4th gen Mega Cab. So I think this setup, I'm good. It's dialed in, it looks really good. So let's get down to it. The guard itself, super easy to use. It is pretty thick, honestly. Not much give to it, which obviously you would want, being that it's up in the front of the truck. The brackets, again, we use the factory bolt up here on the bumper, and then the bracket swings back around and actually mounts back here on the back side of this snowplow prep pack bracket right here. So as you can tell, the bracket right here kind of comes down, and then obviously the guard bolts to that. You got 4 bolts right here. Those go through, boom, done. That's it. Super easy. Again, the longest part of this whole process was basically lining up the brackets, so that way when I put the guard on there, I was able to put all 8 nuts and bolts through and tighten them down, sit it accordingly, so that way, as you guys can tell, there's just a smidge of a gap right there, right? But that's it. It's done. All right, guys, here it is, all said and done. The new intercooler guard on there and looking stout. And I gotta say, I'm actually pretty dang impressed with this. The fitment is awesome, pretty straightforward install, and I think it looks super clean how it's just kind of tucked up right up in that little kind of indented portion of the front bumper. And honestly, the profile of the truck from up front, I mean, it's subtle. It's not too much. So I got to give it a 10 out of 10. I think the paint match was a perfect idea. I think having that protection underneath the intercooler, definitely worth it. And it looks good. So that's pretty much that. And here's how the truck sits now. I know I told you guys before, I was going to show you how it looks with the 38s and the 18s on it, and this is it. And I could not absolutely be happier with how this truck is turning out. So, next few additions to the truck, chassis limited front bumper, and this will be getting swapped out right here, the hood, but that's probably still a little ways out. Cervini's is actually coming out with a cowl hood for these trucks that I'll be putting on here, well, as soon as I can get my hands on one. So that's pretty much it for now, and that's how she looks. So let me know what you guys and gals think below. Anything else you think I could change, or any ideas that you might have for me, but that's all she wrote. So thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it, and have a kick butt day.